But
man,
I've got to
that's
say
good
as
news.
well,
Yeah.
and I really mean this, I've got bad feelings for Terence Crawford against Israil Madrimov.
Terence Crawford is set to move up to the super welterweight division and take on the WBA champion, Israil Madrimov. Despite his dominance thus far, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn believes that the pound-for-pound great may find himself in trouble with Madrimov. Meanwhile, Bozy Ennis expressed his interest in Terence Crawford facing Israil Madrimov next, showcasing excitement for the potential matchup. Ennis is more focused on making money in boxing and does not seem interested in fighting Crawford right now.
Yeah, I like Crawford. That's my man. Him and Spence. I like both of them. Good fighters, man. The best out there. You know what I mean? They one of the best, man.
But even with all that, it's just obviously the business, right? And
Right.
maybe Turkey.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to talk to Turkey Al-Rashid?
My son has, yeah.
What do you think about maybe him possibly maybe helping funnel some of the things that
I heard that though, but I don't know how true that is. I mean, I've heard that he going to offer him a lot of money or whatever. But Crawford doing what he's supposed to do, man. You know what I mean? Trying to get the money and get out. You know what I mean? You know, he done made his bones, man. He done did what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And I understand that though. You know what I mean? So I'm not even really talking about fighting Crawford right now because, you know what I mean? We've been one of that a while ago, you know what I mean? And it didn't take place, so.
Ennis believes that Crawford is nearing the end of his boxing career and is focused on getting a big payday before he retires. Ennis says that he is moving on from the idea of fighting Crawford and is focused on making a name for himself in the welterweight division.
probably better to create your own lane versus, this idea that, the fight fans kind of like, you have to take out this guy. And if not, essentially...
I ain't going about what the fight fans say. We're going to try to clean the 147s out.
Yep.
And after the 147, we're going to 154. After 154, we're going to 160.
Awesome.
And we might hit 168.
The matchup between Terence Crawford and Israil Madrimov is highly anticipated, with Crawford, a seasoned professional with 40 wins and 31 knockouts, facing the challenge of the young and powerful Madrimov. The bout is set to be a significant event in the boxing world, with fans eagerly awaiting the outcome of this intriguing match. In the eyes of ProBox TV analysts Teddy Atlas and Paulie Malignaggi, pulling off that upset will require a display of slippage from Crawford, who will turn 37 a month after the August 3rd fight. Former welterweight title holder Malignaggi believes that Crawford will have been out of the ring for a full calendar year when he steps into the ring at BMO Stadium to headline the debut US card of Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh. Malignaggi said, "Madrimov is rough around the edges and can give you a rough time. He's a new champion and he's going to be hungry and wanting to create a bigger name for himself and his legacy. Crawford would be a huge feather to have in his hat. But if Madrimov is going to have a chance, he has to hope Crawford has lost a few steps." Madrimov trains with other boxing champions in California. He worked hard to become a world title holder after doing well in amateur boxing and overcoming challenges in his youth. Despite Madrimov's determination and strength, Crawford's speed and experience may pose a challenge for him in the ring. Teddy Atlas believes that the problem for Madrimov is going to be speed and all the elements Crawford brings. He's got good eyes, good timing. He's so calm that he slows the fight down like Michael Jordan would slow the game down. Atlas said, "I've watched Madrimov, and yeah, he's a real experienced amateur. And yeah, he's physically strong, and yeah, he's technically solid. But he's also predictable. He comes at you straight on, uses his physicality, goes to the body, his feet and his hands are too slow. Both of those will conspire against him." Madrimov is coming off a 5th-round knockout of Magomed Kurbanov last March in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He looked powerful in that fight, nailing Kurbanov with huge shots until he folded in the 5th round. Trainer Brian McIntyre has expressed some concerns regarding Crawford's transition. Madrimov is among the best in the 154-pound class, in his opinion, and he will present a formidable challenge to Crawford.
Well, like I said before, I feel like that Madrimov is one of the best in the division at 54. He brings a lot to the table as far as power, speed. I know he only got 10 fights, but he got shitload of amateur fights. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. They call him the Triple G of a 54. So, we got a lot of...
Brian said that Terence wants to be the best and accept difficult challenges like these, which is what motivated Crawford to move up a division and take on one of the best, At the 154, he stated, "It says a lot about his character. He wanted to be considered as one of the bests, in and out of the ring, as a businessman and as a fighter. You must take challenges like this to prove to the world and to yourself that you are the best." With the goal of unifying the belts in that weight class before considering any potential fights at higher weight classes, Bryan believes that Terence is coming for everybody at the 154 division and warns them to be ready for him.
All the 54 pounders, we putting y'all on notice. I'm telling you that right now. Come and collect all those belts. So either get you a fight and say you're busy or vacate it.
Crawford is reportedly putting more of an emphasis on strength, speed, power, and flexibility in his training as he gets ready to make his super welterweight debut. McIntyre also mentioned the need of developing stamina because it's necessary to advance in a division, and he suggested that sparring longer rounds would be beneficial. He added, "Definitely, it's a big challenge. Competing against one of the best 154 pounders for your first fight at the division is a massive challenge. We are preparing hard for this fight, especially focusing on stamina, as it is necessary for the bigger divisions. I've given suggestions for longer sparring rounds, and we'll see what else we could do." On the other hand, Eddie Hearn labeled Madrimov as the hardest hitter that Bud has faced and backed the champion to potentially cause a massive upset. During a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Hearn is not confident that Crawford would beat Madrimov. He believes that the Madrimov is a very hard puncture. He stated, "I've got to say, and I really mean this, I've got bad feelings for Terence Crawford against Israil Madrimov, because all I hear is Crawford Canelo, Crawford boots, Crawford this. He is fighting the biggest puncher he's ever faced on August 3rd. I'm telling you now, if Crawford gets hit on the chin by Israil Madrimov, he is gonna really know about it." Hearn believes that Terence's lack of experience in this weight class will work against him. He continued by speculating that Crawford might be growing old. He further added, "As I said to him, you know, every fighter gets old. Every fighter steps one weight class too many. Can it be? Can it be? I mean, Madrimov has tremendous footwork. He's elusive. His defense is good. He punches really hard. But we understand, we're up against the pound for pound #1. The guy's a genius. I mean, undisputed at 40, undisputed at 47, trying to be undisputed at 57. Crawford has now moved to 154 pounds in search of more glory and to further cement his name in the history books." The Nebraska native recently previewed his WBA title clash with Israil Madrimov, where he discussed becoming an undisputed champion in a third weight class, a feat no one has achieved in the four-belt era. Terence Crawford's former opponent, Shawn Porter, made his prediction about the winner. He is sure that Bud can handle the threat that the fighter from Uzbekistan poses. He stated, "My first time looking at it was just this morning. I watched some Madrimov, I think, that Terence, it always takes you a couple of rounds to see what these guys bring to you. I expect to see Madrimov in your face. I expect the stick to come out from Crawford." He continued by describing Crawford's distinct technique, in which he adopts an orthodox stance before switching to a southpaw stance. He anticipates that the boxer will enter the fight in an orthodox stance. Although Porter said some very encouraging things, not everyone believes Crawford will win the battle. Maybe he had finally found his match. Porter assured Crawford that although it will be difficult, he can manage it. He further added, "I think this is going to be a fun fight. You're going to have your hands full, but I think you will handle it. You always handle it. Some people are born to do what they do, and this kid is born to do what he does." Roy Jones Jr. also commented on the upcoming Crawford vs. Madrimov fight. Jones praises Crawford for moving up to 154 pounds.
Middleweight champion.
Right.
154 pounds. What do you think about that fight?
I think Bud wins the fight. Bud
Saudi?
But I think it's a good fight for Bud. I love the fact that he's going to 54. He keeps going up the ladder. He's doing a great thing, you know? There it is.
Possible that he might get the WBO also involved. He might take it from Dora.
That'd be good if he does.
What do you think about the fight?
Uzbekistan's Madrimov is known for his aggressive style and stability, making him one of the most intimidating fighters in his division. Israil, with over 300 amateur fights, has only fought 10 professional fights and is ready for a fight with a star like Terence Crawford. His amateur resume is extensive.
Good boy. Yeah, I don't have such a great experience in professional boxing, but I had a really stiff competition compared to how they debuted, and compared to who they fighting in their first 10 fights. But I have extensive amateur career, international, worldwide. I have 300 plus amateur fights. I fought all the guys all around the world, and trust me, I'll be ready for that.
Madrimov expressed his admiration for Crawford and expressed confidence in his readiness for the upcoming fight, stating that it would be an honor to fight alongside him. Madrimov said, "Terence Crawford is one of my favorite boxers and one of the best boxers in the world. I am very excited to get this opportunity to make a statement, and I will, inshallah." Crawford believes Israil is currently the top performer in the 154 division and is determined to leave a unique legacy by directly following him.
I consider Israil the best 154 pounder in the division right now. So why not go for the top guy in the division right off the bat? I want to leave a legacy that's never been left before, inside and outside the ring. Business minded, just helping the young fighters coming up, giving them the courage and the outlet that the fighters before me never gave to us, and at the same time be at the top on my game as well. I always tell everybody I never go in the ring looking for the knockout, but if I smell blood and it's there, be out of there.
Chris Algieri believes Crawford should move up to the 154 division and potentially become undisputed at this position. He stated, "It makes a lot of sense for Terence Crawford to move up to 154 pounds to challenge the WBA champion Israil Madrimov. In the wake of Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora, it seems natural for Crawford to fight for a title in a fourth weight class, and to put him on course to unify all 4 titles in a third." Chris believes Madrimov, despite his talent and power, lacks experience compared to Bud Crawford, and believes Crawford's relationship with Turki Al-Sheikh will be lucrative for him. He further added, "Though talented, Madrimov doesn't have Crawford's profile or experience. So many, myself included, will expect Crawford to win. Turki Al-Sheikh's ability to broker these types of fights will also have delivered to Crawford the money his status deserves." Terence Crawford has been aiming for a fight with Canelo Alvarez that would leave a lasting impression ever since he made history by defeating Errol Spence Jr. and emerging as the undisputed champion in 2 divisions. There has been some fan backlash though, as with any major fight. Many believe that Crawford's inexperience as a middleweight could make the victory easy for Alvarez. However, Bud appears unfazed. In fact, he's excited. Recently, Crawford boldly stated in a tweet, "Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fight in boxing right now. Like it or not, it's just facts." That confidence is infectious, and if this fight happens, you can bet it'll be the talk of the town in the boxing world. The biggest matchup the sport has to offer right now might be Crawford versus Canelo. Thus, it is not shocking that Turki Al-Sheikh, the Saudi chairman, is already working on it. Al-Sheikh said, "I'm working to deliver Canelo, but it will be big fight for Crawford. I'll discuss with him the names." With 3 belts separating him and his desired undisputed junior middleweight status, Crawford's victory over Madrimov would move him 1 step closer to his objective. Furthermore, Crawford is Sebastian Fundora's WBO mandatory opponent. Fundora is the current WBO and WBC champion at 154 pounds. A potential matchup with Fundora might strengthen Crawford's hold on the division's top spot. Crawford is confident that he has all the experience he needs to beat Israil Madrimov, and he even went on to say that he considers this to be his era of boxing. Israil Madrimov is a tremendous and entertaining fighter, but on August 3rd, he will be my next victim. This is the Terence Crawford era. Trainer Andre Rozier believes Terence Crawford can even defeat Jaron "Boots" Ennis if he wins against Madrimov. He notes that since moving up to 147 in 2018, Crawford has been on a stoppage streak and that he's all about those knockout moments. Depending on when His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh chooses to schedule it, the arena match between Crawford and Boots Ennis may soon be upon us. However, nothing is guaranteed in the boxing world, particularly in light of the potential threat posed by Israil Madrimov to to end Crawford's career as a junior middleweight in the WBA. Rosier said, "He's a phenomenal athlete. He does what he has to do. He wins by knockout. Every fight he's had 147 has been a KO. I love that part. I'm a knockout guy. I like to see knockouts, and he provides them. So I'm TC all the way." A few heated exchanges occurred between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez prior to the Canelo-Munguia bout. Given their troubled past, Oscar may have chosen Crawford over the other contender when asked who he believes would prevail in a fight.
Give Crawford all the credit in the world for even thinking about possibly fighting Canelo, but if that fight ever takes place, I have Crawford 1,000%. And people are going to say, oh, well, you're contradicting yourself. I kind of am, but Crawford is also a big guy. Yeah. Crawford is a big guy who can handle a Canelo because they're the same size. Crawford is a guy who punches hard, but he doesn't rely on his power. He relies on his footwork. He relies on his speed, on his change-ups. He relies on his combinations. He relies on his mind. And I believe that Crawford is a way better boxer than Canelo.
Bernard Hopkins warns Terence Crawford about risking his life against Canelo and discusses the more realistic and sensible fights available, like Benavidez. He emphasizes the importance of weight classes and fighting styles in matchups.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo, fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo? What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense and less life risk.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.